Just saying, it's a crazy time. You can't afford not to like black people. You don't like black people enough, you could become one yourself. I'm not the only black man with a bunch of mugs.
It's them young ones that come.
Yes.
That'll do what you want.
Yeah.
Ain't nobody gonna tell me I'm independent. I pay my bills.
Right.
I pay the cost to be the boss. You the boss by yourself.
Coming to NBC, it's cutting ties with its NFL commentator Shannon Sharpe. The move coming after Sharpe, of course, the Hall of Fame tight end, settled a lawsuit accusing him of sexual assault and
for that. But I just wished, of all things, like I said, hey, they did what they felt they needed to do, and I'm at peace with that. But I just wish, guys, this thing could have waited until Monday.
Welcome back to your daily dose of scandal and glamour. Katt Williams just went off on Shannon Sharpe after ESPN gave him the boot, and he's not holding back one bit. Katt is straight up clowning Shannon, saying there's no way anyone can feel sorry for a man who ignored every warning sign flashing in his face. Think about it. Shannon spent years acting like he was everybody's life coach, preaching discipline and wisdom. But when it came down to his own life,
white women are as great as any other women. But I'm not gonna act like I'm not scared of them. I have a reason to be scared. You could be Kang the Conqueror, and they could take your rabbit ass down in 2 weekends.
he walked right into the fire. ESPN dropped him cold right after he wrapped up that jaw-dropping $50 million lawsuit with OnlyFans model Gabriela Zuniga. And the timing has the whole industry whispering. But here's the twist. Katt already told him this was coming. Live and direct on Club Shay Shay.
I'm grateful I'm not 56 and trying.
You tried to say what you tried to say.
I'm looking right at you.
I know you looking at your
I ain't backing down. You better take your old ass and get somebody to love you.
Damn.
Katt looked Shannon dead in the eye and hit him with the rawest warning. Messing with white women will bring you nothing but problems. And now, exactly what Katt predicted has blown up in Shannon's face. And then Monique chimed in. She didn't sugarcoat a thing either. She gave Shannon some of the realest dating advice anyone could drop. Unfiltered, straight from the heart, no mask, no fake smiles.
Didn't want to get with a white woman because I was scared she might have me running down the street like Jonathan Majors.
Come on, Katt.
Not because I didn't like white women. I think white women are as great as any other women. But I'm not gonna act like I'm not scared of them. I have a reason to be scared. You could be Kang the Conqueror, and they could take your rabbit ass down in 2 weekends. And that's the truth of the matter, so I stayed away from that.
But Shannon shrugged it all off like it was nothing. And now look at him. No network, no respect. Public embarrassment splashed across every headline. Instead of playing it smart, he fumbled his whole bag, dropped millions to settle with that model, and is now drowning in scandal. And just when it seemed like rock bottom, boom, it gets worse. ESPN cutting Shannon Sharpe loose was no shocker.
You see Jonathan Majors, what he went through, Marvel dropped him as soon as the conviction came out. And you were telling the
Hey, you saw that black woman come get his charge cut in half? Thank you, Megan Good. God bless you coming to save that slave. If he'd had to be there by himself, he was getting all four. Guilty, 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 guilty. She came in there, was just so beautiful, they had to knock half of it off. Bless his heart.
Let's be real. What big network wants to attach their brand to a man drowning in a lawsuit tied to ugly accusations? That's not just bad optics, it's a full-blown PR disaster. Executives don't gamble with their reputations, and right now Shannon's name is radioactive.
I gave my daughters a budget. You got a budget?
What number, I mean, I don't want to be in your business, but what number you said?
30,000.
Okay. So you can have a wedding with 30,000?
I don't know what you can have. I ain't the one getting married. Hey, y'all from the South, y'all know about that fried catfish and spaghetti plate. Hey, I know somebody hooked that thing right on up. What they charge by the plate? $10.50 a head. Spaghetti, fried catfish, a piece of cornbread, and a styrofoam cup of sweet tea. That's all you're getting.
Meanwhile, Katt Williams is out here practically yelling, "I told you so!" People close to Katt say he has zero sympathy left for Shannon because the man had it all. Respect, money, status, a platform millions dream of. And he tossed it all in the trash chasing bad decisions. And here's the kicker. Katt wasn't just spitting random warnings about white women to stir drama. He came with receipts.
Started, obviously, I'm sure everybody's heard the news by now that I will not be returning to ESPN. I found out this information a little earlier in the week. And really, the only thing that I really ask is, like, guys, could we wait until Monday? My brother's going into the Pro Football Hall of Fame. I really want it to be about him, and I want it to be about my family. I know this coming out would overshadow everything that he's worked his entire life for.
Word is, Katt already knew Shannon was getting tangled up with that young OnlyFans model long before the lawsuit even hit the headlines. Katt saw the trap being laid out in plain sight and still tried to steer Shannon clear. When Katt brought up Jonathan Majors during that interview, fans thought he was just throwing shade. But no, he was aiming that message straight at Shannon. It was a warning dressed up like a conversation, and Shannon still ignored it. And Katt wasn't finished there. He doubled down, making it clear this wasn't comedy. It was cold, hard truth.
And unfortunately, it didn't happen that way. And so as I told him, as I profusely apologized to him earlier today, he said, bro, stop apologizing. You don't have to apologize. I'm your big bro. I'm going to love you regardless. We all make mistakes. And he says, bro, I love you. So I'm done with this. You're done with it too. Move on.
Shannon had every red flag waved right in front of his face and still barreled straight into disaster. And here's where it gets even wilder. Shannon actually thought that throwing millions at that OnlyFans model in a settlement would save his job and make the heat die down. But nope, ESPN didn't care. They cut him off anyway. And as for that model, she pulled the ultimate power move just 24 hours after the settlement news broke. Gabriella hopped on Instagram and dropped a bombshell.
I really enjoyed my time at ESPN. It gave me an opportunity to bring my audience that saw me really just grow. They saw me, Lakers in 5, and they saw me say all these analogies that my grandparents gave me, and I was able to bring that to ESPN. So I'm very, very grateful for that. But I just wished, of all things, like I said, hey, they did what they felt they needed to do, and I'm at peace with that. But I just wish, guys, this thing could have waited until Monday.
Today, I have decided to retire from OnlyFans. Thank you for the incredible support you've shown me for the past few years. This community has given me a life I could never have imagined. I'll still be active on social media and have several new projects in the works that I can't wait to share. I'm truly excited for this next chapter. So basically, Shannon retired her. She walked away with generational wealth thanks to one risky situation with a 50-something-year-old man who should have known better. You really can't make this stuff up. And people aren't letting Shannon off the hook, not even a little. It's not just that he got played. The fans are now digging up everything. Folks are dragging him for that old clip where he said he wouldn't spend more than $30,000 on his own daughter's wedding. I gave my daughters a budget. You got a budget? What number? What number? I mean, I don't want to be in your business, but what number? You said 30,000. Now here's where it gets downright humiliating and the leaks are spilling out and they're brutal. Texts allegedly show Shannon admitting that Gabriella was charging him a jaw-dropping $25,000 per cheek. Yup, that's 50 grand a visit. And the worst part, he was actually paying it. The internet is eating this up like a buffet. Fans are saying this entire scandal was the wake-up call needed to expose Shannon for the hypocrite he really is. Think about it. This man was out here dropping millions on a retired ex-worker. But when it came to his own daughter's wedding, he proudly said the budget was capped at $30,000. The double standard is insane, and social media is roasting him non-stop. But just when you thought it couldn't possibly get more humiliating, boom, it did. Only days after Shannon agreed to that fat settlement with Gabriella, ESPN delivered the knockout punch. They officially cut ties. No ceremony, no thank you, no nothing. And here's the part that really stings. ESPN didn't even bother to put out a formal statement. When People magazine reached out for a comment, the network straight up ghosted them, acting like Shannon never even existed on their roster. Brr! As for Shannon, he finally broke his silence on July 30th during his Nightcap podcast. He tried to sound calm, saying he was at peace with the firing, but then dropped a heartbreaking confession. Shannon revealed he begged ESPN not to announce the firing until after his older brother Shannon Sharpe got inducted into the Pro Football Hall of Fame. He said he felt horrible, admitting he even apologized to Sterling in advance because he knew the scandal and his firing would overshadow his brother's big moment. It's one thing to lose your job, but to steal the spotlight from your own family, that's next level tragic. Disney and ESPN showed no mercy, ice cold. Shannon begged them to wait, pleaded for just a little compassion so his brother's big Hall of Fame moment wouldn't get overshadowed. But the network didn't blink. No sympathy, no delay. They let the whole thing explode right on schedule, and the fallout was brutal. After that, Shannon opened up more about his brother Sterling. He admitted Sterling tried to keep it cool, telling him everybody slips up sometimes, and reassuring him that he had his back. Even while the world was ripping Shannon apart, that bond between brothers stayed solid no matter how messy the scandal got. And despite everything, Shannon still went out of his way to show love to ESPN. Instead of throwing shade, he kept it respectful, thanking the network for the opportunities and the platform they gave him. It was a surprisingly humble move in the middle of all that chaos. But the most emotional moment came when Shannon looked straight at his brother and apologized. He told Sterling how sorry he was for stealing the spotlight from his Hall of Fame shine and reminded him how much he loves him. He called Sterling his hero, his biggest inspiration, and the reason he even made it this far. For once, fans saw Shannon stripped of the bravado, just a brother, vulnerable and emotional, admitting his pain. And just when you think the story couldn't get wilder, here's the bombshell. Shannon was on the verge of locking in a jaw-dropping $100 million deal. Yep, before the lawsuit detonated his career, he was in deep talks to secure a podcast empire that would have covered all his media projects. Club Shay Shay, Nightcap with Chad Johnson, Club 520, The Bubba Dub Show, and even Humble Beatties. Front Office Sports even reported on April 18th, just 3 days before Gabriella filed that lawsuit, that Shannon was set to ink the deal worth over $100 million. One wrong move, and the entire empire crumbled overnight. That entire bag, gone. Not only did Shannon lose that once-in-a-lifetime $100 million deal, but he also got the boot from ESPN and was basically blacklisted from the entire Disney empire. That means no ESPN, no ABC, no Hulu. Every single door slammed shut in his face. And let's be real. Once your name gets stamped to a scandal this loud, this messy, and this controversial, those corporate media circles don't give second chances. They erase you like you never existed. Shannon had the golden ticket in his hands. Money, respect, a massive platform, everything lined up perfectly. But he threw it all away chasing a 19-year-old white girl he had absolutely no business getting involved with. And that's the bitter ending to all of this. Katt Williams warned him clear as day, and now it's playing out exactly the way Katt said it would. Nobody's crying for Shannon right now. He had the power, the deals, the respect, and the platform, but he fumbled every last piece of it with reckless choices and careless decisions. And once you lose that kind of momentum in the media game, it's almost impossible to get it back. But here's where you come in. Well, what do you think? Did Shannon bring this all on himself? Was ESPN right to cut him loose without a second thought? And how do you feel about him dropping millions on an OnlyFans model while putting his own daughter on a strict budget? And if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share to stay in the loop with all the latest tea. Hit that notification bell so you never miss an update, and I'll catch you in the next video.